score
at all. Yeah, against a guy like Kyle Ward, again, he's impressing me right now with his speed and his coverage on that defense. Is he playing a linebacker, middle linebacker?
It looked like he was playing corner, but he's kind of like in the safety spot. Well, he's covering the tight end on the trips to the one side and the tight ends on the other. So he was on the back side at the corner. You see him right there. He's kind of in the box there on the now defensive right side, offensive left.
Ant Mo is covered way back.
They look like they're in a zone. I don't know if that's really going to be the look here against the trips.
Steps up on Mike. Okay.
And he's following him the whole way through. They play action on that.
Ant Mo.
The toss to Mike will make it. Mike will make it. Matt at the marker, and he'll get the first down. It'll be first and goal.
And that's Kamal Stewart if the roster serves us correctly, which we'll see. But, that's another play by Buck. We could say he runs a 5.9, but that hesitation, herky-jerk move, it gets enough space away from Isaac Negron, and then he just gets the ball to a playmaker in space. First and 10 quickly becomes second in what looks like inches.
And loud, I got you. I got one in purple, too, if you want one that matches your Buzz jersey. I got you, fam. Now, first and goal, 9:42 left to go. Matt, Robin, Corey calling the action with you.
Oh, Booby Miles put on a hat. He's dangerous.
and listen, as crazy as that score looks, it still is only the two-possession game, so they still got to score the two touchdowns. Now they have to get the 2 points.
Ramadan with the pressure.
Fingertips away from putting 6 on the board, intended for number 2, Ant Mo.
And I remember when Ant Mo said he's one of the best receivers in this league a couple seasons ago. I criticized him. I think it was 2021.
Yep.
He has to catch that pass.
Well, and you look at Buck and you might say, oh, why'd you throw the ball low? When you throw in a dangerous spot on the field, you're actually helping your receiver out by getting it lower so you get out of the hitbox of the defense.
And since we're in the fourth quarter, now is the opportunity if the Watchmen score here on the 3-on-1.
Local TV from all over the country.
Inside, if they can stop the team inside the 20, they get the ball back.
What a momentum shift.
This is far from over.
Well, it still is only the two-possession game, so now they still got to score the 2 touchdowns to convert on those championship points. They would have to convert both of the 2s to convert the 16.
That's definitely asking a lot.
That's it. Really, in the fourth quarter, what you're looking at is how many possessions do I need to keep the game either tied or take the lead. And whether it was 34-18 or even when it was the 9-point spread, it's still 2 possessions as we see Humble Beast back in at running back.
And it will be second and goal on the 9-yard line. Paterson stacking the box, the handoff, and the big man, the Humble Beast, gets pushed and will be stopped and met at the 5, and they will blow that one dead, and the Humble Beast taking a bit of a tumble. They'll dap each other up, and it will be third and down.
What we're also going to see is, guys, it is fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That rule is about to apply, and we get to see it live against 2 teams of this caliber.
Well, they have to score.
Right.
Baltimore has to score here, unless they go for the 3-on-1.
Right. That's going to be rough. That's going to be rough.
They can't.
Baltimore has had trouble inside the red zone.
But they can't get the 3-on-1 on a punt. That's not the rule. So they would have to score. But the thing is
they have Humble Beast back there. But they have Humble Beast back there. Humble Beast has shown when he's in the red zone, he's a threat.
Second and goal from the 9, he gets 4 to get down to the 5. Now it's third and goal from the 4. They better stop him.
They just don't want it to be fourth and goal on the 1. The snap, play action, in trouble, and he's brought down. A loss of 6 on the play, and that's the 5th sack of the afternoon.
Hard body.
And he's not even on the depth at D-line when you look at the roster, but he's just a playmaker, and he knows how to play football.
Listen, Marcus McKinney gave me nightmares the first A7FL championship in 2014. That man had a Superman shirt on under his jersey, and he was dancing and doing cartwheels. He did a flip. Yeah. Athletically, he's very deceptive. He's deceptive. He had 230 doing flips and cartwheels is insane, but he has the ability to play D-line, play corner, play linebacker, play safety.
He plays football.
He plays football, man, honestly.
And with 6:28 left to go, if Baltimore scores here on the throw-off, if they keep the Paterson U inside the 20-yard line, Baltimore gets the ball back and a chance to tie this one. But they need the score, and they need the championship
points.
Fourth and
goal, they have Tony Toe tap in. Mike Key gonna make it, and the Super Saiyan at the top of your screen.
I would have threw ammo in there, but
what Buck is going to have to do is make that first rusher, because there's going to be a free rusher likely.
Watch Mikey gonna make it in the slot right there.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Well, and when they line up number 11 Tony Totap in that spot in the formation, he almost always goes on that cross route.
And with just under 5 minutes to play, 34-18 your score. Patterson need the stop here on 4th down. If not, Baltimore can enact a whole bunch of chaos. Yeah. Not Sin City chaos. They're playing the QC Crush right now on A7FL.TV. But Corey, as a quarterback here on 4th and goal after the timeout, you have 2 different quarterbacks to choose from. You have a whole bunch of players on that Baltimore sideline to look at. Who's the guy's number you're calling to snap that play and to make sure that they get into the end zone?
I don't know what they're going to do now that there's been a timeout, but the formation that they just came out in, they had Antoine Matthews, the Super Saiyan, all the way at the sideline. So what you're doing is you're taking that corner all the way out of the play. And then what you do is you had the twins on the other side. It looks like they flipped it, but you had the twins on the other side, and then you go kind of a crossing, corner
who's
post.
Your quarterback, Corey? It can't be you.
It's OG Buck.
Okay.
And that's who it is.
4th and goal. The pressure. Saw his direction in a snow-covered field, and a landslide brought him down. 1st and 10 for Patterson.
That was your quarterback, Corey.
And after this, a big play by Patterson. They get the ball back, and with 5:26 left to go on the other side of this break, the U look to have a coronation and make themselves 1-0. We look at this offense here, and we see Patterson coming back onto the field. Big Rob, what are the things that you look at when you look at this Paterson U defense that have been working so far today?
The rotation on the defensive line, guys like Isaac being able to get penetration, guys like, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not even sure who number 32 is. Number 32.
Consistently all game, where the Watchmen last year were blocking these defensive linemen.
They're not doing that this year.
Right now, and both quarterbacks are finding it tough to get yardage against the U.
That's their biggest upgrade, is that defensive line right now, and then adding Maurice Taylor to the offensive line. Yeah. With Huff and Sis, the U was very dangerous.
You just said a lot of upgrades.
It was a lot. I can't tell you right now at this point.
A lot of upgrades.
Berserk Athletics provides custom athletic merchandise to athletes of all sports and ages. Get your A7FL replica jersey at Fan Gear today at berserkathletics.com. Let's go Berserk. Buy some gear. We'll be back on the other side. 34-18. You with the ball.
For a single purpose. No distractions. Helmet.
Empowering natural beauty. Connect with verified locticians and natural hair care professionals in your area. Visit locticians.com today and discover top-rated pros and brands verified and trusted by our community. Matt Ryan brought to you, bringing you the A7FL games of the week, and here comes an opportunity for the Paterson U. That's Hector getting stopped on 1st and 10.
Hector. I don't know. Hector.
Devontae Thomas had something to say afterwards.
I don't know, Hector. I don't know. It's like...
It's also tough. I don't know if that's a play call that really was perfectly executed either. So, sometimes it's the guy, sometimes it's the play call.
Yeah, I don't know. If they gave it to Rec Ratty, it would have went.
Well, listen, Rec Ratty has 3 digits on his jersey, so something would have happened.
He's a dangerous man.
It makes him look so much bigger with 3 digits on the jersey.
He's not a big guy.
Well, he's big enough, but when you got 3 digits on your jersey, you looking like you eat a whole other. You don't just miss lunch; you have second breakfast.
Ohio is 8-0 chaos against the QC Crush.
Oh,
and speaking of Crush, this is an orange crush for this Paterson U offense.
This is big play Haas, and he's one of the guys that they were trying to tell us about back in the day.
That's just.
And look what happens. Huff goes with the pump to the play action on the quick screen to the outside. This is another one of those. They stole the play from Buck's play call. It's the Tony toe tap touchdown. They get it here. They fake the quick screen, the cross, and Huff is basically saying anything that you can do, I can do better.
I just have to say.
We have to say it.
The BIC.
Look at the sidearm throw. My God.
Right there to his face. That's a catch.
And big play Haas, if I'm not mistaken. This is his
Ryan DePaul. Be sure we use that play a lot on social media.
Yeah, that's
and use this tag too. That is a slip slide. Take that one to the house. You don't need a reason to stay here because, well, we've got a few for you. 40 from the Paterson U as they take the lead.
This is rough, man. This is rough. It's tough to, and he's hitting the strut. My goodness, this is bad.
Did they all practice this?
I think so. Because
was that like all Friday practice? Was that the walkthrough, Rob?
Look at this. Okay, Sisson, if I'm not mistaken, back there.
Yep.
They
get it to him on the second.
They did double throwback. They're just trolling.
They're
just trolling.
And another championship point. Another championship point. And they're just running away with it at this point, man. It's.
If you're the Baltimore Watchmen, are you demoralized or are you just looking for revenge?
I'm just going to be honest with you. You cannot be. This hurts.
Take the hit and keep moving. You got 6 more chances.
You have to take this. Watch film, get better, because you're going to see these guys again. And then you got to deal with BIC later in the season. So if you're demoralized from the U.
If I'm the DC Buzz, and I know there are DC Buzz players here in Asbury today, you're like,
sidearm.
Ooh, that's going to be week 2 is going to be a.
And this is Haas Dubois. It's a French last name, wonder if he's Asian. This is nasty work, man. I don't know.
Dubois.
One shot. Yeah, one shot and he's gone. This is nice.
Putting a point on this one, and we expected it to be a hard-hitting game and a big-time showdown, but we didn't expect the Paterson U offense in this second half
not to take off like this, unanswered. That's what's getting.
But this is what the Paterson U offense was in 2021 and in 2022. Rob, you know that better than anybody. Well, Corey knows a little bit better because he stood across the field from them. But this Paterson U offense is cooking, and remember, for Baltimore, it doesn't matter here because they are losing. They can, wherever they get the ball is where they'll get it. The little one gets past Snack Sosa, and little one gets past 2, tries to get past the 3rd.
Oh, Huff with the, oh my goodness.
Quattro Huffin breaking to you and knocking a kufi or 2 off in the process.
Listen, that was great contact for both players. Great tackle for Huff. Great run for Lil One. I'm here for it.
Yeah, Huff's glad to be back.
Oh,
He's
sure.
absolutely 100% glad to be back. He's completing the passes that last year. And no disrespect to the team that I'm literally playing later tonight. But correct me if I'm wrong, Rob. A lot of those bullet passes, those sidearm throws, all that off, kind of schedule type of plays, the Animals sometimes couldn't convert those. Well, Dakari Mims
and our guy Dubois absolutely 100% show why the U is just a
get tickets at CSFilharmonic.org.
And this is game 1. BICU play as soon as this game is over, about 15 to 20 minutes after this game is over, we'll get things reset. We'll make sure the power's still up, and then Ashante Worthy and the boys are going to step on the field. You know, it's a little cold outside, but I don't expect snow in the forecast, Rob.
At all. There's going to be some melted snowmen out there. It's going to be rough.
42 to 18, your score.
You're hiding the lead. We'll talk about it later, but what color does it look like BIC's wearing? That might be the only thing Snow Tribe has going for him.
It's going to be bloody snow. Is insane.
Much like Jeremy Shockey in the early 2000s, or in first and 10, 3:50 left to go.
J-Rock at the timeout. He must have seen something he didn't like.
Yeah, he wanted Matt to read the read again.
Berserk Athletics provides custom athletic merchandise to athletes of all sports and ages. Get your A7FL replica jersey and fan gear today at berserkathletics.com. Let's go Berserk. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Corey Hammond and Big Rob Fabian. Rob looking at all the news and stats around the A7FL. Corey, as we look ahead to our second game of the afternoon, if you're the Trenton BIC and you see the U doing this, you're like, all right, now I gotta hurt everybody. Now I just gotta throw everything I can at them.
Well, I think motivation for the teams in the Northeast, including the Watchmen, which, you know, if they had a different matchup, things might have gone a little bit differently. But I think all of the top teams in the Northeast have that motivation, because more important than maybe anything else in what transpired last year is that none of these teams were champions. They all lost.
Everybody has
their
fire.
last game.
Only one of these teams played in the Final Four. And they're the one down 40 to 18.
That's insane.
And you saw how the U was come back. I think that the defensive line for the U is obviously a difference maker, but you can't really look too much further than when you say the U is back, it's because they have their quarterback back. But now what we're going to see is what kind of level of motivation do we see from BIC? Do we get extra motivation? Do they come out and do they maybe take Snow Tribe lightly? Is Snow Tribe better than maybe we expect them to be?
I mean, you would hope
4
so, right?
o'clock, a lot of those questions are going to be answered early, and I think one of the guys that's going to answer a lot of questions today, even though there's no question about it, is my guy, Sterry Codrington.
And it will be a snap.
Oh my goodness! Isaac Negron trying to remind us.
Mo Ramadan.
You see what's on his back?
You see what's on his back.
Long live Palestine. You see what's on his back.
And we see here the first sack, the 6th sack of the afternoon.
Goodness.
For this Paterson U defense is Mo Ramadan, coming out of retirement, losing a daughter in the offseason, has 2 young daughters, one in hospice care, playing alongside his younger brother, and there he is. He put him on his ass, and a little help from Isaac Negron.
Yeah, rest in peace to Jana and Sema Strong, but you know, basically what we're saying is with those 6 sacks,
shouting out that old school, mic'd up tape.
Yeah, listen, I'm here for it.
And with those 6 sacks, the biggest difference in the Watchmen today is not who the quarterback is. It's not who the wide receivers are that are making plays. It's not the defense. It's the offensive line. And last year, you can make the argument that they're 1 or 2 or 3 in offensive lines in this league. At least game 1 in 2024.
They have to look at this tape and figure out what they need to do better to make sure that they protect whoever has the ball in the backfield for the Watchmen.
Our friend and yours, Tajon Webster, in the chat said Huff said they had 50 on the head. He was close. 2:12 left to go. Waiting to the 2-minute warning. No, they'll take it. And there's the toss-off. Beefy finding a seam. Beefy finding this sideline. Beefy gets hip-checked. And there he is. Sadiq Pitts looking to get a little bit of respect back on his name.
Don't tell me to sit down, Rob.
It took him a while. I like to see Sadiq Pitts put in work, but he's looking a little like a liability today.
At the 2-minute warning, Baltimore looking to add more to the scoreboard and at least walk out a little bit closer as we wait for our 4 o'clock game in Las Vegas. As it was 8-0. It's 8-0 in Cincinnati. Chaos leading the crush, and we see here again a huge run. Just big bodies.
Yeah, Sadiq. Oh, yeah, Sadiq. All right, he must have heard me. Somebody told him.
Well, to be clear, he kind of missed on the beginning of the play if we're going to narc on everybody today.
And we'll take a brief timeout here at the 2-minute warning. 42 to 18 your score. If you haven't got your 10th anniversary t-shirt, I don't know what's wrong with you. We'll be back on the other side as we wrap this one up. It's the game of the week.
That's me, facing televised execution by breakfast cereal mascots. But let me take you back to an even worse day. The day the Vanderkoys killed my family and left me deaf and mute. I made a plan. Give myself an inner voice. Player 1 wins. Get stronger. Join a team. Go team.
You ring the bell!
Walking into today, there were nothing but questions, but just about one game gone by. Rob Fabian, Corey Hammond, I'm Matt Ryan, and the Paterson U have had a lot of answers. We're going to have 6 more weeks to figure it out, but this is the U that looked like winning back-to-back A7FL championships.
Honestly.
This is a team that was in 4 straight A7FL title games. And right now, Baltimore's going to have to go down I-95 with a lot of homework to do and some retooling. The snap. The throw to the end zone. Might go make it, can't make it. And it will be third down.
And it's like, I feel like asking Corey, like, who are we? I don't want to say blame, but was it overthrown or
on that one, it looked like the wind took it because, again, it kind of died down.
But those missed completions today have been a big problem for Baltimore. It's the timing. Is it because of all the subterfuge and back channels and political intrigue that's been going on in the DMV?
It's been very busy, and
I think that is part of
it. Is part of it.
Yeah, but the other thing too is that, you know, this game is a statement for the U. Absolutely,
sure.
There's things that the Watchmen 100% need to work on, but one game is only one game, and we saw that last year. You know, the 3 top teams, the Watchmen, U, BIC, which we're going to see in a couple minutes, they had the game where they could have played better, but they still weren't out of it. And I think what we've seen from the Watchmen is pretty much business as usual. And if they fix the offensive line, they're definitely going to be a hard out in this tournament. But I'll say this, guys. You're talking about back-to-back with the U, mentioning the U as Buck gets ready for 2nd and 10. This is the type of defensive line that we talk about when we question what the Insomniacs have to face.
On everything.
2nd and 10. Play action. Pardon me, the throw by Buck and incomplete again.
So again, come on, Corey. Who now?
I mean,
two targets to Mike.
What do I, as a quarterback, what do I say? I say my bad. So whatever. But I think it's more interesting. You know, this game, we're at what we're at. We're going to see on 3rd down. I think Buck's going to make the play. But when we talk about the championship picture, right, and you talk about what teams have to do to get back there or win again. And this is what we talk about with a defensive line that you have to face for 4 quarters. You're not going to have 11 seconds in the pocket against the U, period. No matter who your offensive linemen are. I don't care if they went to Nebraska. I don't care if they went to UCLA. I don't care if they're literally still at Alabama right now. That defensive line is going to get pressure on quarterbacks, and we're going to have to see how teams that haven't faced things like this adjust.
Right, yeah.
I did see an NYU offensive lineman. I'm making that up because we didn't have football. The snap on 3rd down, the pressure, almost sack number 7, but that'll be another incompletion.
And then about the rotation, we didn't say Big Mo's name or Isaac's name first quarter. That's not who we were saying.
No.
We were saying Nick Mays. We were calling everyone else, J-Rock, all these other guys. Now in the 3rd, 4th quarter, it's a lot of Isaac. It's a lot of Big Mo. The rotation is crazy.
And then there he is, number 82, Devin White.
Kevin
White.
Kevin White. And he just came off of the bench.
Haven't seen Fletch.
Now, did he do a fusion dance?
Double teamed.
Is that the late great Kevin Green and Reggie White reincarnated?
Maybe.
Is that who Kevin White is?
We said Devon Burton earlier, but then he didn't disappear. They rotated, and then it was Kevin White. Then he left. Then it was Big Mo. Then he left. Then it was Isaac. Then he left. Now, and
then I'm saying it's Chill Out Duke, but it's really Burton.
It's Burton, and then it's Nick Mays. It's like it's too many guys on that defensive line.
And when you're talking about affecting the passing game, if you get a pressure on a quarterback, it's not an easy.
Intercepted. A
And that's Moon?
interception. That is Kareem Moon.
Oh, he's looking for six.
He's
Wait a
silky
second.
smooth,
Why is he
and
so
he's trying to
fast?
find a spot.
Whoa! Wait.
And the clock is still running.
Wait a
Play
second.
is still going
Come
on.
on, Mike.
Kareem
How
Moon.
did you
Make it.
We saw pick six
Good block.
earlier today, and we're
Okay,
going to
wait.
see another one.
Hold
Slip slide, and he gets to the one.
If you're going to get tackled at the 4,
That's
Moon,
a
you might as well go out of bounds when you
That's
first
a
catch it.
heartbreaker.
Listen, 6 years ago, that's an easy touchdown. Now he's
But
got to
Huff
go get
wanted
some
50.
oxygen.
They're 8 points
They're
away
8
from
points
50.
away from
Rob.
50. But here's the thing. When did Moon get faster? Am I tripping?
Science.
No, that's not what happened.
Nah,
what
he
happened
got a
was
step.
is the Watchmen,
He got a step
their
again.
souls got snatched because when you're going for the garbage touchdown and you think you have a chance and then it's intercepted and almost brought back. No, seriously, I've been
That's
there.
rough. That's
I've
rough.
been there. I've been there.
Yeah, that's
then
rough.
at that point, it's like, it doesn't even matter the effort I put into tackling Kareem Moon, which I could now once again be embarrassed because he could hustle me. Right? So, listen. No matter what happens in today's game with 123, unless we see a messianic miracle, right? If something
There's
comes down from the sky
nothing.
with a beam of light and there's a dove involved, the
can
Baltimore
remove-
Watchmen are now 0-1.
Bro, we can
Ish.
remove every U player from the field right now for the next minute and 23 seconds, and they won't score enough.
I don't know if they'll be able to
they
score.
won't score enough.
But the point is that a loss is a loss. So the fact that it's a 50-point loss, it's a 3-point loss, a loss is a loss at the end of the day. And yes, are there going to be situations in which the points maybe matter at if there's a
they
tie
will.
with these kids?
The points will matter.
But at the end of the day, the Watchmen need to go home, look at what they did well, work on that, and build on that because there is a lot there.
No, of course, it's
They
not a
also
loss.
have to
It's a
look.
lesson.
They have to look at the men that were out there pancaking,
Right.
literally week in, week out. The defensive lines that we're facing, and say, gut check. You lost this game for us. And now maybe the UD line won the game for them, and let's give them the credit.
100%. But
But
that
they-
offensive line should be better than that.
You saw once, twice, maybe 3 times, their offensive line was missing blocks completely.
Who is this?
14-0 in Ohio. The
Why
Chaos
does it look
leading the
like Ryan
crush in a
Shamar?
second.
It's a great question. It's not Ryan Shamar.
It'll be 1st and goal.
That's Maurice. That's not Maurice Taylor.
It looks like him.
That's not Maurice.
It absolutely
That's
against
not
the
That is
Baltimore
Trey
Watchmen.
Lamont.
That's not Maurice Taylor. That's not Maurice.
Oh, pardon me. That's number
fucking
54.
Maurice
That's
Taylor.
Nate Green.
That's Maurice.
showing.
And the ball's not close.
Oh, my
the ball's not
God.
close. And the big man's got it. Is it a thick boy's touchy?
Not
He's
at all.
rumbling. He's bumbling. And then he
And
stumbles.
look how they're looking at Maurice. This is why they put us on the offensive line, Maurice, and we don't do this running stuff. I've been there, brother.
Listen,
I've
from
been hurt
the
before.
jump, we're going to look at a much more athletic version of A7FL
Baltimore does
football
not
here.
want this game to end, gentlemen. They
At
want to
all.
find a way to come back.
Oh, Buck, what in the world? The block.
Listen, some of the hardest hits you'll get as a quarterback is after an interception.
Shout out
and
to
it's-
our staff today. Producers Zach Morgan, David and Alex Soberman, and
They
Ryan
just
DePaul.
called, hey, Duke, they just cost you guys the 50 boys, man.
Yeah.
They just
I mean,
cost
listen, any of that is ridiculous.
Now that's
at
with
that
a
point.
Z,
When
right?
you put a
50 boys
center,
with the Z,
when you
yes.
put a center at quarterback, and you're going to run quarterback sweep.
Hey, bro,
See,
I
Ross,
have
see
film.
Corey, I don't tell you how to play Madden.
Yeah, I have film,
Fine.
Corey.
Fine.
I
Let me
played
play
running
Madden.
back.
Fine.
I did better than that.
Yeah, no,
And I
listen,
scored.
Mo,
Look,
Maurice
everyone
Taylor.
knows I'm at least faster than that.
you're faster than the people that you've raced.
Are-
That is
hold on, hold on.
100%.
I run
Shit.
about a 6'12".
Are you challenging Maurice?
No,
Taylor?
I am not. I am
Okay.
retired.
I thought you're
I
tired.
am retired.
You're done. Okay.
Once you reset your knee twice to
Yeah,
race somebody,
It's all
Listen,
good. Yeah.
when it's
all
two
good.
fat announcers running, you're just like you're making
Really go deep cuts into the 3-on-1 podcast deal. Cameron Dawn Hammond did challenge you, Matt. She called you out. Now you can deny that. Shout outs to my 12-year-old
I was
daughter.
gonna say, am I racing your 12-year-old?
Listen, she probably
cooked
would
me.
compete. She could
Three
compete.
wide receiver set, the handoff to the big man. Thick boy season is always in the A7FL, and he, Mamaku saws himself to the 46, and it will 36, pardon me, and it will be second down.
I'll just let that clock run out because, again, at this point, you close the game out, you get home, you get to the drawing board, you figure out what you can do to improve next week and get ready for BIC. Slow down. Get ready for the buzz because the buzz are not care to play with the Watchmen at all.
And in Vegas, it is 6-0 Hunters over the Kryptonite.
Interesting.
Interesting. The Kryptonite coached by Chris Wallace, current coach of the Vegas Kings. He coached the Outlaws during the Fall Brawl, but now it's 2nd and 4 left to go here in Asbury Park. Baltimore will try to get some morale, and they will be sacked again. J-Rock Rogers, the 7th sack of the afternoon, and then a little bit more of that Park Heights shuffle.
Come on, how many different names are we going to call today for sacks?
Well, we've got 0.3 seconds left, so we're not going to be. We might get one more. We might get number 8.
Maybe.
Who called a timeout? They absolutely 100% called the timeout to get this 0.3 seconds.
They're trying to get a garbage
That was
time.
the U, I believe, yeah? It was offsides on the defense.
Wow.
So Baltimore gets a reprieve here in what would be called a penalty that may or may not have needed to have been called.
Maybe not. At this point, you guys are like insult to injury. They kind of
I don't know, man. When I got one more chance at one more play against the U, I'm trying to get that garbage time touchdown. Come on.
We expect that from you.
0.3 seconds? Hey, what does that mean?
The toss, and this will be the last play of the game. And
oh my goodness,
he'll get some big yards, and he'll get on the board, and he'll get a highlight of that one.
Chop looking to chop a pound of flesh for that beatdown, but it doesn't matter in the final score.
But the Watchmen said, watch this, and we did. And for 60 minutes, the Paterson U reestablished who they are in this league. Quattro Huffin, who was a little shaky coming out of the gates. They scored twice to start things up, but then they got scored on twice. Coming up after, the power outage, they were able to come back and make things happen. We are going to take a 20-minute break here. And at the top of the hour, it will be the BIC and the Snow Tribe. But we will have action going for you on A7FL.TV and DAZN, so don't worry. And if you want to watch some games on A7FL.TV, you can check across A7FL.TV right now in Nevada. It's the Hunters taking on the Kryptonite. That is 6-0, and in Ohio, it is still 14-0, with the Heist leading the Crush as they get towards halftime. I'm Matt Ryan, joined alongside Big Rob Fabian and Corey Hammond. We're going to take a brief timeout, and when we return in 21 minutes' time, Shante Worthy and Sterry Codrington step on the field for 2024. Welcome to Death Row. It's the BIC and the Snow Tribe after this. Paterson and Huff back together. They're reunited, and it feels so good. They're 1-0. The Watchmen take the 0-1. They're back to Baltimore.
But let me take you back to an even worse day. The day the Vanderkoys killed my family and left me deaf and mute. I made a plan. Give myself an inner voice. Player one wins. Get stronger. Join a team. Go team.
You ring